dialogue we had here solve problems. And that is the reason why we are here. So please, let's do it together. And we brought Captain Steve is here. JJ, my co-pilot, was also here. And when we were doing all the dialogue, that is my co-pilot. And I'll ask her to explain a little bit about herself so that I won't make a mistake, isn't it? So please, I will do that.
Good evening. My name is Elizabeth. I live here just 500 meters from this church. So I'm a citizen just like you here in this neighborhood. Today I'm giving you positive vibes. I'm the representative of working in networks, and that's all about creating your future and having a goal. So yes, we're going to talk about the issues. Yes, we're going to talk about depression, but we're also going to talk about the positive sides. Where are the solutions?
Awesome. Oh, give her a hand. You see, this is not just not preventive alone, but a strategy to move ahead. And every question you have, those at the back, you can come a little bit forward. So those who will be at the some people watch the Dutch match. It was 1-1, no problem. Ladies and gentlemen, for the tradition of this dialogue, we will allow our panelists to do some introduction, and you can pick the microphone. And if you want to say anything about the topic, you can do that before we do the opening dialogue. So we start with Honorable Edusei, our great chairman for today. Hey, Chairman Edusei. Yeah. Awesome. And then you take over. I'll be behind you to watch you.
Good evening, everybody. It's very unfortunate I cannot stay here to the end of the program. E-neighborhood is also waiting for me. They are doing something about also Pali High. So I have to leave here. Actually, I should have been my way there. But looking at how important this place is, I think I will stay here to 8 o'clock. And after 8, I will.
We can even cancel the...
Good. It's a bit disappointment. It is not easy to meet the youth like this. And once we have been able to bring the youth here, I was expecting other colleagues of mine and also the politicians in our building here. I don't know what went wrong, but something has gone wrong. It is too important to do it here alone without the colleagues and without the politicians. The topics are too important and the group is very important. So I would suggest this should not be the last, there should be a continuation. And I'll make sure they come. Yeah. So after that, we will talk and see when we are going to, you have to organize again. And then I'm sure the youth will also attend. And then you prepare everything that you couldn't say, or didn't say it well, to be a chance for you to say it well. That time, the politicians who made decisions will be here and to listen. Reverend Conin was praising us sitting here, but I think the praises should go to him. What he is doing, none of us can do that. None of us can do that. If I organize the youth like this, they will not come. But he will do it, and you will come. That shows a big difference. 2, he's not only thinking about religion, God. He's thinking about other social problems. And when you think about issues, problems, and you are thinking about solution, that's where God will come in and support. When you don't think about that and think of solution, God will not do it for you. So God will only come to you only when you are thinking about solving yourself, and he will push you, give you the strength, give you the wisdom, and every support that you need to solve it. So we really have to clap for him for what he is doing. The third thing is he is targeting on the subjects that we all know they are problems. So he understands the system. He understands the people. So he is combining the system with the people. And bringing us together here is a step ahead solving the problem. So we will encourage him not to stop, to continue doing this, and we will make sure we always stay behind him and support him, but to make sure that we achieve what we want. He made something also very interesting. I've been living here for the past 32 years in this country. My children are living in UK. My siblings you live in the US. Friends living in Canada. So I have some people, my network living outside the countries. What I tell them are the way the police deal with us is unique. They are surprised to hear from me the way police goes with us. So he's very right to praise the police. The contact with the police, Amsterdam police is totally different. And I tell you, it comes from him. He brought it. When we came here in the 90s, here was called Surprising Amsterdam. That was the name, the youth. Here was called Surprising Amsterdam. Even when you stand at your balcony, you can be arrested, you can be caught, sent back to your country. But now, the police have become friends of us. The police meet us anytime you want them to meet them. All because of this God-sent man, our Reverend. What we should do is to pray for long life for him. Is to pray for good health for him. More wisdom for him. More fill in the pocket for him. Everything should go well for him. Because when he is okay, we all become okay. So my promise is this thing should be continued. This thing should be reorganized. And I'll make sure I bring my colleagues and the politicians and the police have agreed also to be there. So we work together to make sure what is on paper becomes a reality. God bless you.
Oh, give him a hand. That is our honorable. Can't you see what he said? Do you hear that? And that is the way you clap. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go to our greatest chief. Give him a hand. Give him a hand. The greatest chief of the whole wide world police. And this one, no discrimination. He's a genuine policeman. I mean it. Yes. Honestly. Yes. So you haven't seen anything yet.
Well, great introduction. Thank you. Now I have some pressure to do it better than my opponent. Well, for now, my name is Gregory van Gene, and I'm also working here in Southeast. First, I started in west of Amsterdam as a police officer, and very soon I make the step to Southeast. Why Southeast? Well, I can only look around here in the area here, and well, the answer is there. Because working in this kind of area, in diversity of communities, diversity of religion, diversity of people, yeah, that's the place where I want to work. And for me, it has always been the place where I wanted to work. I'm not born here. I'm born in the east of Amsterdam, but I always came here because my family came here. My father came here in 1975 as a guy from Suriname. Made his living here.
Spotu, we love you.
Well, and today it's also the Independence Day of Suriname, so we also have a party today. But for this evening, why we are working here with Reverend Coney is because your community is one of the largest here in Southeast, and you are the future, and especially the youth. But we also have concerns about how the youth is dealing with issues like discrimination, like ethnic profiling, problems like having a good education. So these are issues where we are talking constantly with Reverend Coney about how can we help the community, how can we support the community. We are not only here because we want to arrest people. No, we're here, first of all, to be in connection with you. And from that connection, we can learn about how we can do our work better or how we should do our work. So for this evening, feel free to speak, give your opinion, and tell us how we can do our work better but also what do you need from the police? Thank you.
Say something. The new queen of the Bahama, isn't it? Yeah, we want to know you better. So feel free. Can I give you the microphone?
Yes, of course. Well, actually, this is the first time I'm around like something like this, like a dialoogavond.
Doe maar Nederlands.
Doe maar Nederlands?
Ja, doe maar.
Wait.
Vertalen maar gaan, Byron.
Sure? Oké. Ik ben Mariska.
I am Mariska.
Vanaf 2013 ben ik werkzaam bij de politie.
Since I've been working with the police force since 2013.
In verschillende steden, of stukken van Amsterdam, in het centrum, in West, in Noord.
I've worked in different districts in North, in West. Did you say West?
Ja. En sinds eigenlijk 2 jaar geleden ben ik in de Bijlmer geland.
And since 2 years now, I've been in the Belmer.
En ja, wat moet ik zeggen? Sommige dingen zijn vrij nieuw voor mij.
A lot of things are quite new for me.
En ik ben blij dat ik deze avond mag meemaken om mogelijke vragen van jullie te kunnen beantwoorden.
And I'm happy to be here so that I can answer maybe some of your questions.
En misschien her en der wat tips of advies kan geven.
And maybe I could get any feedback or tips, advice.
En als jullie nog tips of advies voor mij hebben, hoor ik het natuurlijk ook graag.
So both from you guys to me and from us to you guys.
Thank you.
Welcome the queen of the whole Bahama man. Yeah. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have some men of God in the house. All men of God, community leaders, you are all welcome. But I've already said, men of God, come in front. Yeah, come and be in front so that when the people come, just be in front. What are you doing? Come and be so that when the people come. Yes, you too, come. So that they can move forward. Move forward. So that those who will be here late can be behind you. Those at the back, you also come, please. You just, unless you are sign engineer, but all those are sitting right back, come forward. The ladies there, come forward. So those who will be here, it will be easy for the ushers as well. Yeah. Mama Nancy and others, come forward. Community leaders. Sikaman, Rekojin, whatever. Give them a hand. Yes. So that please, welcome them. Welcome them. Thank you. Now, we leave the whole dialogue in the hands unless there's checks and balance and I'll control them. This is Pastor Baron. Ladies and gentlemen, shall we welcome Pastor Baron? He's also a youth, but this man is a father with 2 children. He's taking my daughter. This is Pastor Godfrey. Hey, young man, he's alone. So application can come. Now, feel free.
Nou, goedenavond iedereen. We zullen het combineren. We zullen het zowel Engels doen als Nederlands. Voel je vrij?
Translate, because I know my presby pastor understand Dutch. So that the people will, you balance it.
Yeah. So we'll make sure that we'll balance the whole thing. We'll be speaking English and Dutch.
Everything is allowed. Ghanaian language, everything. Please.
Yes. So we again want to welcome you all. My name is Byron, and this is my host, my co-host.
My name is Godfrey.
And we're happy to be here today to do this dialogue with you because it has been many years because of the corona. There was it kind of interrupted the consistency in the whole thing, but I think everyone agrees that it is very necessary for us to come, as our chairman said, to come and dialogue regarding certain topics, which is very, very important. So that's why we again want to welcome you to the very first edition since Corona. Put your hands together for yourself for being here. And we will be touching on some topics, just as our pastor mentioned. And over to you.
Yes, so as Pastor Byron already said, it's an honor for us to stand there and to have such a large crowd to come and speak as well. During this police dialogue, we can see that we have various of groups and they're representing a voice. So whatever we are going to discuss today, they can actually come and support, and we can also come and support with whatever mind idea we have inside of us. So it is very important that we are all here. And it's very important that we will not remain silent. As Pastor Baron already said, it has been for many years that we have been silent, but today is the day to speak out. So what we are going to do here, feel free. We have some topics, some subjects that we have prepared beforehand. They are well prepared and they can answer every question that we have in peace. So if you all understood, say yay.
My first question to you, by the way, have you noticed that there is any decrease in youth delinquencies?
Oh yeah, if I look at my surrounding, I come from Amsterdam, and I haven't really seen, that a decrease has happened in the youth delinquency. But have you seen that?
Okay, but I think it is very interesting for us to channel it to the public.
Yeah.
And let's talk a moment about youth delinquencies. For instance, one example that I've seen is, it was less than, I think, 2 or 3 months, I learned that there was a guy who was stabbed in the Albert Heijn. I don't know if it was at the age of 16, 17, 18-ish, but on broad daylight, there was a guy who was working in the Albert Heijn who was stabbed by a couple of other people. And sometimes I think many of us will have the question, how can this thing happen? So let's talk about that. Any questions on, so the first question I think would be good is, how do you think we can all stop this? Because we can say the police should do it, but how can we as a community decrease youth delinquency before we allow maybe one of the panelists? So someone who wants to comment on this issue. I don't know if I was the only one that heard about the news. Can I see hands who have heard about the same news?
I also heard about it.
Yeah, don't be shy. Dikinilante, when you heard about the news, what went through your mind? Had je niet verwacht, hè, bro? Ah, sorry.
It was quite shocking.
Mag ook in Nederlands spreken, hè, trouwens. Is dat het enige? Is that it? See, the reason why I'm asking the question is, we cannot solve the community issue if we're not concerned with community's issues. So if we would look around and someone is being stabbed and we'll be like, oh, ja, het is heel erg, maar we gaan weer verder.
And up. Yes.
Michael Williamson, I'm representing the Ugandan community, owner of a few businesses. I think the biggest problem that we need to look at as Africans, as black people, we should look at a point of broken families. Very many families have broken up. I need to feel free because it is a very sensitive point.
Could you please?
When people break up, mothers and fathers, there is no control anymore in families. I see that in families of the Ugandan community. It's unfortunate nobody turned up. I turned up and I will take the information back. But we as Africans need now to look into that. We need to look at a system that can help our mothers and fathers migrate back home. We need to look at systems that can be brought up to make sure that when we have a problem, we can be helped. I've been moving around Amsterdam Southeast, and I moved with a few Gemeente people, and I asked them, how many of the people that are living in Zuidoost are going to the universities that are in Southeast. These are things that we need now to tackle. We need not only to look at what is happening and how it is happening, but where is the root that is bringing it up. That's me.
Give it a hand. Great brain.
Thank you very much for that wonderful contribution. I think there's someone else that wants to talk and speak.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mr. JVC. I'm standing here on behalf of the African community general. I don't want to mention only that I'm from Nigeria. I wanted to correct a little problem that we have. You see how it shows now there must be something that have went wrong. You ask us now to deliberate our issues, what we have in mind. The politicians who are going to decide to give us the answers are not here. So please, when you are talking that we are going to rearrange it, we have climbed up. And because of disunity and information, because it was happening here like church, I don't see the interest we have. When these things happen, we discuss it. Some of the families cannot be here, but the children, the mothers are here because child crime of violence, having gun or having knife, start when you cannot take proper care of home, not outside. Because if you're a mother, you can check your children and see inside if they have all those weapons. Before they started stop and search, we said, okay, all these things are not good. We tried to divert it again. But we see that nowadays it's like when you divide them to rule them, you get total wrong moment of life. Because we came here, the dialogue is for all foreigners, especially Africans. But when it comes to progress, they divide us. They want to do it for Nigeria. They want to do it for Cameroon. They want to do it for Ghanaians. They want to do it. Then, what can we do? We are here for one goal. You don't make the law apart from one. You don't make law for Nigeria. If you want to get something fat from Nigeria, go to their private leaders and find out what is going on. We came here, we are praising the man. If he have rejected it now, I don't know how it could have happened. We have the dream. The dream is good. We survive on it. But what stopped before, sir? You are welcome back to Southeast. When we were here, people are saying, I'm here 30 years. Before, Burma is no-go area. I started to say, I love Burma. When everybody is rejecting that, when you come to Burma, it's like a different zone. We try to bring the peace and the unity. What stopped that we cannot come and combine again? Before, when you come here, half of this crowd is police uniform. All this place is police. We started even learning to the extent of things that we are not supposed to learn. They give it because of genuine love. They talk to us like a brother, like a father, like a son. And we learn what we don't know about. Because when you come closer, you can get some of the real fat you need. Because when the world is united as one, there will be peace. Thank you. You're welcome.
Great questions and answers.
Feel free to speak. So if then I would like to maybe direct the question to one of the officers, like what has been the statistics, or what stands out when it comes to youth delinquencies? And what is your idea or your take on how we could solve that as a community and as a police force?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Well, first of all, I agree on the subject that there's no decrease in young people playing, doing on crime or something. But what what we see on the other hand is that it's a little bit increasing. But we don't get a lot of numbers about it because very little people are filing a crime report when there are suspects of, when there are victims of a crime. But what we see, if we look at the African communities, what we see is there's a slight increase in extremely violent criminality. Let's see, what we see is now there in drugs. There are trafficking in drugs. It's an increase. Killing people, just acting like a hitman, or what we also see is that when knifing, we see also a large increase. And knifing is the whole community of Holland, so not only on the African communities. But if we speak about the Ghanaian community, for example, we see that there is an increase on the youth when they are participating in criminal activities. Even more when let's say in about 10, 15 years ago, they were very absent on that, in that part of crime. And now we see there is an increase. And I see one of the factors is also social media. And when you talk about the incident in the Albert Heijn, well, I was working on that case, so I know everything about that case. And for example, in that case, one of the suspects is from Ghanaian descent. And it was a very young guy who was prepping himself before he went to the Albert Heijn. He was listening to music, and this type of music, it was drill rap. But he was listening, and he was also part of one of the drill rap groups here in Southeast, one of the biggest too. And they went to the Albert Heijn with the goal to kill the guy who was working there. And the way it went, because I saw the images on CCTV, pure violence. There was no stop. It was just, he was stabbing the guy just like it was nothing, just like it was a doll or something. And he left, and his, let's say his colleague in crime left also, they left the scene, and they were just laughing and pointing at the guy, like, ah, and then they fled. Well, when you see those youngsters, they didn't think about what they wanted to do, and they also didn't thought about the aftermath, because they were caught in a second, because they left a ton of evidence they left behind. They didn't think about all the consequences from their actions. And when you're young, your brain is not completely grown out, so you still have the problems with seeing all the consequences for what you're doing. And when you're a youngster and when you are in puberty, then it's also an issue. But we also see that there are, this guy, for example, also had mental issues. So mental issues combined with the upgrowing of your brain, in combination with all the factors from outside. Social media, who hyped him up to do it. Yeah, I think it's a very toxic cocktail for a lot of youngsters.
Well, thank you for
Listen, give him a hand. Give him a hand. I'm so broken. I'm so broken. So I know Ghanaian young men and young youth, you are watching me wherever you are. The opportunities you guys have here, we didn't get it. We must be honest. So youth delinquency should not increase in our community. Talk less of mentioning Ghanaian children. I challenge every African, there are a lot of opportunities here. Maximize the moment. We should stop. Recently, you will hear the news, people will do a crime outside Amsterdam, and when they mention where are they coming from, they are coming from Southeast. It breaks my heart. He's giving us a bad name. Whilst we were doing the dialogues, things were changing. But for me to hear today, it has now increased. Oh, please, mothers, fathers, young men, you are our future. And I thank God, those Those who are here, you may not be like them, but those who are watching us on TV or social media or online, I'm telling you, put a stop to it, because this nation is a police nation. So whatever you do is in your record. They will go after you. Let's behave ourselves. A lot of chances here. Recently, there was a testimony I hear. Somebody who stopped school. He was even working. It was amazing. I don't want even to mention a young lady now have the master's degree. Isn't that amazing? When you hear the stories, such a transformation stories happening in our community, I'm proud of you. But when you are doing youth delinquency, please put a stop to it. You are damaging yourself, damage your community, and damage your surrounding, and damage your word. It will go after you. We love you. We are fathers. We want to take care of you. Please, please, we beg you in the name of God. We really beg you. When you behave well, it will give us all the honor that we deserve. The reason why I love the question they put, what you don't measure, you can't develop on it. So now we measure it. We realize that we are not doing well. Shame on us. Our children are going wayward. The guy who talk because we don't check our parenthood. Things are not. It is just surprising. Captain Steve also want to say something. So he said, Papa, stop. I will also talk.
Thank you very much. My name is Ousmane. I have a hard heart right now as I hear this news. Thank you for this, the program. There's a sense of, I don't know how to put it, direction. The youth, they have the potentials in them, but they don't have career guidance. And we are lucky, Lisbeth is here. You will say much about the youth here. The potentials in you, she is going to enhance those potentials so that everybody here can also get benefit in what you have. Those children who killed somebody, at least one of them could have been a star. If I say star, somebody higher. And more also the guy, I heard is mentally derailed, but all the same, some are there without mental distance. But those people, right now, if the police apprehend them, jail them, you've bracketed their talent or the potentials in them. Why am I saying this? They have some sort of energy or potentials in them. When you say there's a kidnapping activity somewhere, we need a strong person to go. There are some people like that in America also. They hide them. Those people can go and rescue those people with their, they don't mind dying, or they will put their life on the line. So they will rescue those people. So those people too, when you blanket their talent, you flop them, because me and you, we can't do what the police are doing. We can't do what the soldiers are doing. But all the same, we have our soft side and then hard side. There's a word, but I've forgotten. Strength, and then weakness, yeah. So please, 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 let the police dialogue it good, think about it good, that this guy, are we to jail him or to bring him, the zeal in him, so that he can use it to, instead of attacking, he will rather defend us. So please, think it good, and Lisbeth will take it from here. She has a lot, all the potentials within us, she's going to enhance it. So I will leave it to Lisbeth to continue. Thank you very much.
Hello.
I was first, but...
Sorry?
I was first.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to tell my opinion about certain subjects. Here in this country, if you commit a crime, if you murder someone and you're below 18 years, you get like 2 years. that doesn't help because you kill someone and you're out in 2 years. You're on the streets again. And the government is doing bezuinigingen with GGZ. It's not helping either because there are a lot of mental people walking around who don't get the treatment they deserve because of money. And I think we should not, we should cherish our lives. Our lives is more important than money. You know, money comes and goes. So I think the government is putting ourselves in trouble. They're putting our lives in danger because there's so many freaks walking around, so many crazy people who need to be inside in a hospital. They need help. The punishment, it doesn't work. You just get 2 years if you killed somebody just because you're below 18 years. If you're man enough to kill somebody, then you're also man enough to stay in jail for 25 years or even more. That's what I think. Yeah.
Well, thank you for your opinion because it's spot on. For example, yeah, we have troubles with the government with the issue with money, and we also see it in our line of work that we have a lot of people who are have mental issues still on the street where they actually need help. On your first opinion about the punishment for 2 years. And I think 2 days ago, there was the first case here in Holland where a minor has been in front of a judge, and he will be judged on adult law. So he's 17, he committed a murder, and he will be judged by adult law. And that's the first time in Holland that it's going to happen, and everybody's watching at that case. So for every youngster who thinks, because that's also the way that the big crime lords are using is, no, you can do it, you can kill someone and you only get 2 years. And there are youngsters who think, well, 2 years and about 80,000 euros or money, or some even 5,000 euros, 500 euros for killing someone. Well, I only get 2 years of detention. But now, if this case sets true, and this guy gets, he will get sentenced by adult law, I think it will change the whole aspect of youngsters who are being judged in front of a judge. Because I think that is something what's going to happen now. And especially for youngsters, it's not the best way because you can also get 17 years or 18 years or maybe a life in prison. And we are the only country in the world who still have life in prison. Like other countries only have 30 years. Well, America is maybe maybe an example. That's not something that you want, about 130 years for something. But here it's still life in prison. And after 30 years, 33 years, they will examine if you can get out or not. But it's still life in prison.
Can I just say one more thing?
Yeah, of
and
course.
The problem with the Dutch prisons, it's too luxurious. You know, it's not like the prison in Ghana. If you go to prison in Ghana, you will never commit a crime again because you get 3 times, you eat 3 times, you get your TV, you get your own shower. Yeah. You know, you can WhatsApp, you can go on YouTube, you can do whatever you will like. It's just, to me, it's beperkte vrijheid. That's how I call it. I don't call it gevangenis.
Yeah, I can understand your opinion, but I can also say that was my feeling at first also. But well, during all the cases I did as a detective and all the criminals who get behind bars, everyone breaks, and they all cry in their prison cell a time, some every night, and about the way that they get phones in or something, and that they call and that they have that's like Snapchat posts and everything in jail. Well, I think everybody knows examples about that, but it's no hotel. And yeah, in other countries the prisons are more like hell. Let's say it like that. But every study about that. When you see in America, the prisons there are completely hell, but there are still a lot of people incarcerated. So the state of the prison doesn't help, doesn't give people the feeling that they don't commit crime, because when they need to commit it, they commit it. When it's in their mind, they commit it, and they don't think about how prison will be like. And that's a study which is worldwide done. So I don't think the state of prison will, or the height of the penalties will stop people, but it's in the beginning. It's the mental thought of the person who's committing the crime. So we need to invest on the part before that. How can we give people the right motivation to put their lives in the right way, instead of going for the easy money, the fast money, and the beautiful life that they see on social media or they see on around them in the neighborhoods they live? Because I always say there are two ways out. One, behind bars. The second one is beneath a white, how do you call it? Beneath a white blanket. And that means that you're dead. There's the only two ways. Only two ways. The third way, living with your money on the other side of the world and being wealthy. Well, we see what happened to Ridwan Taghi. He was the wealthiest man, I think, the wealthiest criminal that lived, and still he got caught. So there's no way out. There's two ways: prison or under a white blanket.
Awesome.
Now I want to give the word to Madam Lisbeth.
Oh, you've not spoken?
Is it
Okay.
possible? Yes, okay.
All right.
Okay. As I told you before, I love living here in Southeast, and there are special reasons why Southeast is so beautiful. And for me, it has the potential to be just the best area of the whole of Netherlands. Why? And now I want to talk to the young people, because especially the young people, they have the problem of who am I? There's always the question, am I my African tradition or am I Dutch? And a lot of times people ask you to choose, but it's not possible to choose. You are educated in a Dutch system, and part of you is Dutch, and the other part of you is African. But that makes you special. You are special children here, special children of God. Hallelujah. But you're also special because you have two cultures inside of you, and you have to be proud of both sides of you. This is what I want to say.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think that was a very good comment for me to start. Yes, so two identities, two cultures, two biographies that young people grow up with. What is the effort that is being put into the educational systems so that the teachers in the educational institution would know that such young people don't have to choose one identity, but to be forced to choose one identity is to destroy that child for life. So something must go into training of teachers, because it begins from kindergarten. That is where the identity crisis begins. And when your teachers are not able to let you be proud of who you are from that early stage, school becomes a problem. So drop out, and you drop out what you need. You need to while away the time. You need to hang out with some people. And then it leads into further development into crime. So it was really important, or it is really important, that when we are having such discussions, decision makers should be here. Politicians should be here. People from the educational institutions where they train the teachers must hear these things, so that something must change in the way the system runs. because we really need to put our money where our heart is. Why is this community a troubled spot? What investments must we make? How can we solve those problems? Yes, the potential is there, but if we don't invest in that potential, it will not develop. That is the point I want to make.
Can we allow one youth? Yes. Then we balance it, isn't it? Yeah.
Hoi, ik ben Lisa. Ik ga in het Nederlands praten. Ik heb 2 dingen. Het eerste wat ik wilde zeggen gaat inderdaad over identiteit.
One of the things that I want to say is it's about identity.
I do think it's important indeed that you accept like all your cultures and all your background. I think it goes both ways because even if you accept your culture and your background in the country where your culture is not from, then je moet ook de kans krijgen als je gaat solliciteren of wat je dan ook gaat doen om bijvoorbeeld die functie te krijgen. Als ik ik werk bij een woningbouwvereniging, als ik daar naar het directieteam kijk, zijn gewoon witte oude mannen. Ja, het is misschien dus. Ik zou het denk ik mooier vinden. Waarom moet achtergrond of cultuur belangrijk zijn of uitmaken? Waarom kunnen we niet gewoon kijken naar wat je talenten zijn, wat je vaardigheden zijn, wat je. Ja, dat moet niet.
The question is just to give a summary. Is for instance, I work at
Social housing company
corporation. And why should it matter what my identity is? Shouldn't it be that it's about my results and my skills and my competence and my eloquence and intelligence?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that was one thing that I wanted to say. And I also wanted to say, because you said a lot of people ze doen geen aangifte. Maar heel vaak hoor ik ook, ja, ik ga geen aangifte doen, want ze doen er toch niks mee. Ik heb bijvoorbeeld ook een collega, haar vader is.
Ga je onderbreken?
Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Quickly, she was commenting on what our police officer said about what often that they notice is that not people file a case or an issue or do a report. And what she has learned is many times around her she hears that what are they going to do anyway? So like people are not motivated to or driven.
I know someone who was a victim of fraude of zo. And the police even told him, was in Diemen, the police told him, doe maar geen aangifte, want we kunnen er toch niks mee. Or that's what I heard. Ja, wat zou jij dan tegen zo iemand zeggen? Of als je tegen iemand zegt, doe maar gewoon aangifte. En dan ja, het werkt toch niet. Wat zou je diegene dan wel adviseren? Iemand die dus heel sceptisch daarover is.
Okay, thank you. So there are 2 questions. One is about the identity and the other is to the police. So I don't know if anyone, misschien Lisbeth, wil jij antwoord geven op de eerste?
Yeah. Do you want me to speak English or Dutch? Okay. Then I'll speak English. Yes, I totally agree that sometimes chances are people of a migrate background are more difficult than not. But the point is, if you believe in your dream and if you know or you need help how to make all those steps, you'll get to the top. If you expect that from zero your dream will just come true, nobody can do that. There's always steps. You have to make the small steps. And I coach a lot of women, also with a cultural background, also Dutch women. And what it's about is show your visibility, show your skills, talk about them. Talk about them during coffee, during everything. And if you're visible and if they see your skills, and then it doesn't matter anymore.
Thank you very much. To clarify the question the police is going to answer, I would like to give, because he talked about the criminal report, right? And if you file it in, what is actually the benefit of it? And secondly, what are the chances that the cases will be taken seriously? Because that are the questions that she's asking.
I wanted to add something to it because I have some documents which I went to the police. My name is Omari Frank. On 2nd March this year, I was involved in an accident. And I called the police, but they told me if the accident was not serious, like I'm dying, they will not come. So luckily, there was a police who was driving by to the AMC way. And then he come along and he asked us, are we wounded or something like that? And I said, okay, I have some pains on my shoulder. So I asked him, can you help us to fill the forms? Because this is my first time experience an accident. And even the accident, I did not make the accident, but the person who was coming from the left side hit my car. But the police told me, no, they are not there to help. So when accident happens, you have to settle it yourself. So, okay, we manage ourselves and then we get information. But later I get to know the other part, the part B, did not wrote down his particulars well. Even the driving license, and later I get to know that the car wasn't for her, and then she doesn't have driving license. So I came back to Bama police station, that is where the former is, Amsterdam Sport, to make a complaint. They told me it's not their business to have that complaint. So I have to film my part, send it to the insurance company. So I sent it to the insurance company, and then they asked me a lot of questions. I answered them. But later, they also demanding a witness, whereby when the accident happened, anybody who was passing by drove away. So where am I going to take the witness? So in short, the girl damaged my car, and I couldn't have any refund. So I have to pay it myself. And it was very terrible. I have to go to the physiotherapy all the time, and I do not have anything about it. The girl was Antillean. But the girl did not show up.
Don't do profiling, please. Please, don't do. What you don't want others to do to you, don't do it to others, please. If one Ghanaian make a mistake, doesn't mean all Ghanaians bad. If one Dutch, they are good Dutch and they are bad Dutch. They are good policemen and they are bad policemen. Can I go further?
Yes. Oké, ik zal beide vragen in ieder geval proberen te beantwoorden. De eerste vraag van mevrouw.
I will try to answer both questions. The first question of the lady, the woman.
Het klopt dat wij op dit moment gewoon niet alle zaken direct in behandeling nemen. Dat klopt.
It is correct that we cannot answer all cases directly. That is true.
We zitten met enorme personeelstekorten binnen de hele politie. En om dat te vertalen naar even hoe dat eruit ziet, betekent dat wij hier soms in de Bijlmer maar 1 auto op een dagdeel kunnen bemannen om op de noodhulpdienst, dus op de 112 meldingen te rijden. Dat is de realiteit op dit moment. Als je het normaal hebt, zoals nu vanavond, hebben we best wel wat personeel, dan heb je 4 auto's rijden.
We are in a shortage of staff at the moment at the police department. The way we scale it, or you can measure it, is that 1 car is driving around in the whole district of Southeast. 1 police car. And at the moment, there are also a few members of the police driving around, but they are in a shortage at the moment.
Omdat het Openbaar Ministerie tekorten heeft, en de rechters tekort hebben, dat is ook gisteren het nieuws geweest, heeft gewoon de overheid bepaald voor ons, hè, die zegt gewoon, het Openbaar Ministerie, alleen die zaken, dus vanaf bijvoorbeeld zware mishandeling of erger, die worden in behandeling genomen en alle andere zaken, die komen helaas op de plank te liggen, omdat we die gewoon niet kunnen oppakken. Het is niet dat we het niet willen, maar we kunnen het gewoon niet.
So at the moment, it's not only the police department, but it's also the law enforcement, the justice, that are also in a shortage at the moment. What they have is the case is that they cannot do anything about it, but they are actually working on it.
Ja, en dan is de volgende vraag, want waarom zou je dan aangifte doen? Want dat is natuurlijk ook de volgende stap. Het moment dat wij bijvoorbeeld 1 aangifte maar binnenkrijgen van fraude, dan kunnen wij nooit in de lijn naar het Openbaar Ministerie en naar de overheid zeggen, wij hebben meer geld en meer ruimte nodig om fraude op te pakken, want de cijfers zeggen dat dit het grootste probleem is. Dus dat is 1. 2 is, ik ga hem even door hoor, dan moet je zo maar even samen. 2 is dat als het geen aangifte is, is dat nooit gebeurd. Dus stel je voor, wij pakken wel een verdachte die met jouw zaak te maken heeft en er is geen aangifte van jou, gaan we nooit bij jou terechtkomen. En het gebeurt nog wel eens dat wij iemand aanhouden en dat we in één keer zien van, er liggen hier spullen, of we zien dat er geld van een rekening afgestort is, bijvoorbeeld op zijn rekening, en dan kunnen we terugleiden en dan zien we toch dat er aangiftes zijn gedaan. Dus fraudezaken zijn sowieso heel moeilijk, maar dat is wel het nut van het doen van aangifte.
Because they are busy, they have to put it towards the law enforcement. What happens is that because they don't have a direct link, they cannot pass it through to the law enforcement.
And to add on this,
secondly, the case is that when you do filing a criminal report, what happens, they can trace it back to the one that filed it in. So that is the importance of why you must file in a criminal report, so that when they find out the evidence, they can trace it back to the owner.
Yeah, to add one thing that I also said was, when there are no crime reports filed about a certain part of crime, let's say fraud, or when we see that in this area, for example, one group of people are committing crimes rapidly or in a series, when there are no crimes, we don't know how big the problem is. But when there are crime reports, then we can say to our to our district attorney, we can say, well, you say it's no problem, but look, we have already 20 crime reports. This is priority, so make priority for this and take your and take all the capacity you have, for example, on winkle theft or something, but put it on this group who's now terrorizing the area. So when we have numbers, then we can send our capacity in that way. So that's also one reason to file a crime report. Why it's so important to do. And now your question, that's the next one. Well, I don't know your particular case, so I need to check in your case what happened. But first of all, when you have a accident with the car and there is no damage to your body, or you don't have any injuries where you need to go to a hospital, then it's the rules are that you need to fill in the form yourself. But when you don't know how the form works, we can help you fill in the form. And when my colleague said, well, it's not possible, I don't know what the reason is why he said it, but for example, when you have problems filling in the form and you don't know how it works, you can always come to the police station and ask, can you help me, can you explain me how it works? Yeah, I know, and there you also had the answer that well, we won't help you, it's not there, we don't do it. I can say that's not the way that we should work. That's not the way that we should work.
You see the good policeman. So when you met, I don't know. They were two. But then now we know the rules.
No, but it's for example, it's a part of service, and I can understand when it's busy at the counter that sometimes they can say, well, we want to help you, but we don't have the time. But that's a different answer. Then you know the reason why they can't do it, but you didn't get any explanation.
So therefore, I think we didn't do that part right. But it's true that when two civilians come in a crash, or when they have an issue with each other, and there's no felony there is no criminal activity to it, then it's about the civilians together need to find it out. They need to make it work, or go to a judge to have their right. So in your case, it's civil. You have injuries, and then you need to have a doctor sign what your injuries are, and then you need to fill in the form and send it to the insurance company. And in your case, what I can do is afterwards we can talk about the case with through Pastor Coney. Maybe I can check what I can see in your case, what didn't went wrong. So that's my promise to you. Yeah, that's the part where sometimes people expect us to do some things, but yeah, our government has made rules what is our work and what is not our work. And in a car crash, or when there is an accident, when there's no injury, where you need to go to the police to the hospital, for example, there's no ambulance called, then we are not the ones to make sure that everything is okay. That part. So
there was another issue he mentioned,
yeah.
And that was, he said, I don't have any witnesses.
Yeah.
Whatever happens,
oh, witnesses, yeah.
you have a
Yeah.
telephone, make photos,
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah.
I have everything on paper.
Okay.
But so the insurance company asked me if there will be a witness around. And I don't think when accident happens, when somebody is riding somewhere, you will stand and then say, I want to be a witness for you. No, no one will do that.
I know how insurance company work. They don't want to pay out. No, but that's the main goal. I'm saying just like it is, because an insurance company will only pay out when there is a clear case for them. And in this part, they don't have a clear case, and they have one escape not to pay your for your part. And they say, well, yeah, but there's still a way that something else could happen. So my advice is, buy a desk cam, put it in your car, and record it. I think in other countries it's already obligated. In Holland, not yet. But my experiences with all these kind of cases, because you're not the only one who has this problem. I had it myself too, one time. So buy a desk cam and make sure that that's your witness, because images can't lie. Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, before we start, our Honorable Oduse have another. We invited the Stars Day, we invited everybody, the politician, but he did honor his invitation, and he have to move on to another program. But I will allow him to explain it before leaving.
Good. Your situation is very unfortunate, and I think the police has said that shooting has happened, and that you've been given advice. So I think we all take advice from that. Quite unfortunate. I said during my first speech that the problems we are mentioning here are so complex to be addressed by the people sitting here. And Honorable Reverend also said it actually. That is also true. And while sitting here, I was communicating with the politicians and the Stars Day Force that has promised that we should organize a new one, and they will come. So, yes. Police said, this country, we believe in paperwork, we believe in evidence. Sometimes, when we don't report cases, the superiors don't take the situation serious. They look at figures and they apportion money and personnel. So the less report we make, the less personnel and money we get. And when it happens, the more problems we also have. So advice to all of us is, if you see anything going wrong, please report. Don't make it like African culture. Oh, this doesn't matter. Oh, God will do it. It doesn't matter. Oh, they will not take it serious. so I will not report. The way we think in that way, the less money and people we have to handle the problem. So just try to report. Also about the dirtiness about this area, the same story. If they get more report, here the garbage is not picked, here is dirty. You keep on reporting. That's when we bring on more staff to come and clean. Everything is based on what is the system. So just keep on reporting. This is a reporting culture, complaint culture. Report, complain, report, complain. And when you complain, action is taken. Unlike Africa, when you complain, nobody will mind you. But here, when you complain, they mind you. The more you talk, the more they listen to you. Look at people who get more subsidies. There are people who come to our office and complain, and they get more subsidies. So keep on talking. We are ex-Beskaide. We feel shy. When our Reverend was talking sometime, he asked a question, I've forgotten a question, and the youth, you see people were saying this, but he said, instead of doing this, no, I saw this. No, just be bold, come out and talk and shout, and you get a lot of things. The problems we are talking about are very complex, very, very, very complex. What we are seeing as a problem, we are forgetting about the causes. We have to address the causes. Bringing more police is not the solution. It's very curative. We are fighting against the symptoms. What is causing the problem? We don't address that. And I think in the next meeting, we should pay attention to that. What is causing that? And I overheard Pastor talking about education. It begins from the classroom, the identity crisis. It begins with the resource they get when they are going to secondary school. If a child is very intelligent at the age of 12 from primary school, and the child gets FAMBO at FIS and goes to FAMBO, because the child is very intelligent, the child thinks that's not my class. And you see there'll be demotivation. And you see there'll be dropouts. And the next time, the child will not get a job. Society will neglect the child, and the child will take a gun and shoot. Who caused that? The system caused that. And we are going to imprison the child. So we are tackling the problem without tackling the causes. It begins from somewhere. The second one is we, the parents. We are trying not to understand the system. We are trying not to follow the system. We are chasing too much money. And we neglect the children. When you leave the children alone, you don't even say, I love you to the child. The child will hear from somewhere, and you lose the child. The money you're supposed to give to the child, you don't. You use it to go and build your house in Africa. And you don't even live in that house. You don't even live in that house. You spend all the money on other things, and the child is not a priority. Communicating with the child, showing love to the child, spending money on the child, interest in the child, following the child's education. These are the things that we parents, we don't do. And when we don't do, the children will not listen to us. And when they don't listen to us, they will listen to the system, the environment, the police, and they will do what you don't want. And the time you try to complain, it's too late. The child has already formed his or her own opinion. And for the youth, please, if we make a mistake, it doesn't mean you should go astray. Think also for yourself. We failed to guide you. We failed to support you, but it's your own future. Don't rely on the word discrimination. You cannot easily get rid of discrimination. No law can prevent discrimination. It may reduce it, but it can't prevent it. Even where you yourself you come from, the word discrimination is there. So talk to yourself. Do not go to with anybody who is not going anywhere. Identify the friends who are doing very well. Throw away any friend who is not going anywhere. Make choices of the friends you make. If you see a friend who is doing very well, that is the person you should move with. From today, make a list of all your friends. Those who are not going anywhere, drop them. And like I promised, the government will pay for the cost of the next meeting, and that will be politicians, police, and the community.
I wish the chairman will not leave. You see, but I don't know. Listen, because the last time we did the dialogue, we talked about housing, and they promised. They promised us. I wish today I will carry him. I won't allow him to leave. Do you agree? But you see, you should give honor to the one who honors you. Honorable, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Get it. Thank you for coming. Yeah, honorable, thank you for coming.
Okay,
Yes.
my name is...
Please, excuse me, before you proceed, I agree definitely on the fact that next time the politicians will come. So please make sure that some of the points and questions you have, you will bring them next time again, because he said that it starts at the school before he left, but even starts at home, just as our Ugandan brother mentioned of. So then the question would then be like, how is the government helping and supporting especially broken homes? Because this is something that has been there for decades. So that is something that we'll definitely make sure that we throw that question again to them.
Okay. My name is Sheila Felicity Boy. What I had to say, I wish next time more parents will come, more teachers also, like the gentleman said, more teachers will come, because this is a case where these things, violence starts from childhood. There are so many children, when they go to school, they are being bullied. There's somebody at school that eats their food. There's some people who beat them immensely for no reason. Some children are even scared to go to school because there's somebody bullying them, making them scared. And the parents supposed to see. You understand? But like our pastor said, they are only chasing money. They don't care about the children. But when your children come from school, you're supposed to study them. You see some children, as soon as they come from school, they will not even greet you. They will bang the door, they will squeeze their faces. It means somebody is worrying them at school. Or it's their gang. They want them to join that gang. If they don't join those gangs, they can even beat them to death. They can do them so many things. They can take their books, their textbooks. You understand? So parents have to show more love to their children. When their children come back from school, let them know what they did at school. Who worried them? Who say what? Because parents don't have time for the children. So when they come home and the child is not speaking, say, oh, you bluff. But sometimes it's not bluff because the people have warned them. If you tell your parents, I'll kill you, I'll do this, I'll kill your father. You understand? But when you show love to your children, you talk everything with them. They are not your friends, but you make friends with them. And that way they can tell you anything that is what? Happening at school. And most of the teachers, they are discriminating. Some of them, they love these ones, they don't love these ones. That's why we need the teachers also to be here. You understand? You are being paid to teach children regardless of their color or their race. You are being paid. So you have to love them equally. You understand? You don't discriminate. You understand? Whether it's the Dutch, it's African, it's the Nigerian, it's Ugandan, is what? You are being paid to look after them. So we need the teachers too. Because when the children, it's too much for them. They can't take it. They can do so many things. And there's this sickness called psychosis. Psychosis, you can get it from drinking alcohol, taking drugs, smoking, all kinds of these drugs. When you are taking it, children, please stop. Because you can isolate. You can see something say jump from the top. They can tell you because you are drunk, because you have taken drugs. You are spoiling your future, your education. You understand? You have chance to be in this country. You are lucky. Take advantage of whatever God has given you.
Thank you. God bless you. With time, Pastor Joel. Yes, awesome. I love this dialogue.
Hi, my name is Gabriella. I have a question as an... Oh, sorry.
Hi, good evening. My name is Joel, and I actually wanted to jump back to the story we heard about the young guy in Albert Heijn who got stabbed. I think two elements that are very important in that case are the following. Number one would be a lack of reasoning due to the fact that the suspect were still minors and didn't have that ability to think about the consequences. And second would be extreme emotion. Can be anger, can be whatever. And my question to the officers is the following. Maybe you guys can give an insight or shine a bit more light. When you look at the cases, what was the main reason why these youngsters committed certain crimes? Was it revenge? Was it peer pressure? Could you guys tell us a bit more about that?
Well, one part of the question is there's no there's not one a reason why they commit a crime, but what we all see in all the youngsters is they're at one time they're fighting with their identity. They found their identity in a group or in people on the street, so they don't have the connection with home anymore. That is something what we see. Or they have the love from the parents, but there's still something blocking it when they leave the door. So at home they are perfect children, but when they're outside they're complete bullies or completely something else. So what you see in this part is the same thing. What we all see in the last couple of years is that it all brings down to a social media event, what started. What actually, when we talk about our drill rap conflict, it's all started with people trying to bully each other, people trying to defend their turf. Well, when we talk about turf, I only see one, that's Southeast, but some people have the right, they think they have the right to call themselves, I'm from postal zip code this, zip code that. So they're claiming the area and they're putting segregation on the whole southeast part, and they're trying to defend it. They have a romantic side of gang culture. But we can talk about gangs in southeast. We are not that way like they are in London or they are in America. No, we don't have gangs. No, we have groups who want to be gangs and are trying to act like it. And therefore, people are hyped up to commit crimes, and afterwards they're crying at their moms or in the police cell, because then the realization comes what they did. But there are children from all types of homes, broken homes, homes where the parents are together, people who are working a lot, people who are always staying home. There's no one part where they come from, but the thing that we saw on a lot of cases was that some parents say, well, you have a bed, you have food, and you can shower. So what's your problem? You don't have any problems, you don't have stress or depression. No, we are working, we have depression, we are working, we need to pay the bills. You have a bed, you can eat, and you can shower. So what's your problem? Don't come with your problems to me. So that is something what we see at some
youngsters who are committing the fiercest crimes, like in emptying containers in the harbor of Antwerp, or stabbing each other because of a Jurab conflict. So I hope I have answered your question, but there's no particular part in it where they all have a resemblance, for example.
And we cross over from youth delinquency to discrimination. Discrimination in institution, discrimination in school, and discrimination as a whole. When I hear someone said, we can't do nothing about discrimination, like Honorable, it breaks my heart. We can. And if they said there is no law about discrimination in Holland, I disagree, because there is a law. Article 1 of the Dutch law says you should treat every human being as a human being. So whether I'm green collar, I'm a human being. Whether I'm a Ghanaian, I'm a human being. And there's no first-class citizen and second-class citizen in Holland by the Article 1. Are there discrimination? Because you hear sometimes, Holland, they are perfect people. Even Jesus said nobody is perfect. Holland is not perfect. We all discriminate. Is it? So we have to talk about it. And you can see the statement he made. He said, if you don't talk about it, they don't solve it. So we will talk about discrimination so that they stop discriminating us. Is that right? Do you agree with me? So should we talk about discrimination? Yes. So the floor is open for discrimination.
My name is Gabrielle, and I'm happy you made the connection to discrimination, because I'm happy the decision makers are coming here. But for example, when people are sitting at a table and making the decision, a part of it is that because of discrimination, none of us are sitting there and really, having influence on that decision. So we can come up with a beautiful plan, but it doesn't connect to the stadsdeel. And then eventually we're all like, oh, it doesn't work, but we were never invited. So as you said, discrimination, let's take a look at this and put the youngsters, the young people with African background, let's give them a seat at the table. For example, last Monday I was at a meeting for housing. I'm a real estate agent, and I spoke to the wethouder. I spoke to the wethouder, and she said, when it comes to the housing problem in Belmer, they always hire real estate companies from outside of Belmer, but it never tackles the issues. So because I have my own real estate company, I told her, give me a seat at the table. I know what the issues are. I have access to the people, and I can function as some type of gatekeeper who has easy access to the people, but I can also talk to you. So I think one of the suggestions I have, just give us a seat at the table. We have good ideas. We are very capable of working at it. So give us a seat at the table.
Today, please, after the dialogue, get the name, the contact, all my dialogue. You have my table here, our table. So sit here. Yes. Thank you. Then they will ask you a question. Give us the tidbit how we will get more houses.
Sorry, I want to say something. My name is Sylvia, and I want to talk also about the discrimination. I do verzorgen IG, and at school there was a Netherlands teacher, and I don't know if, let me call it, like he is racist and also discriminating person. Like he used to give us less, and when he come to class, he will dog all the foreigners. Like he will not, like when he give us some question to solve, he will not ask the foreigners to like answer. The only thing that he will say that, oh, I know that you guys cannot speak Dutch, so let me go to those who can speak Dutch. And my friends, they find it difficult to come out with it. And I am someone who goes straight to something that if you say something to me, then I think it's offensive, I will just say to it straight away, so that like I will not have any grudge between you. So I told the teacher that, let me ask you this question. because we will do exams in the end of the year. So if there is exams for us to write, will you left the foreigners behind, and the Dutch people or those who speak Dutch will do the exams or what? But he did not give me answer. Let me forget about that one. There was also there was also an incident in our classroom because we did not know how to speak the Dutch well because of our accents. So there was we are doing like medisch rekenen, and one of my friends, she's an Eritrean, she was speaking and it was a little bit funny. I know that I can laugh at people, but when it comes to something, we have to be serious. So one of Suriname's girl was laughing at her because she's not pronouncing the word good. And my friend told me that this is what has happened. And I go to the girl and told her that we know that you can speak the Dutch, and we are trying to learn, but you cannot laugh at people when you don't know, like when they give you something, you go and look at someone's own and copy it, because everyone has what they are good in it. And they went and attacked my friend at the shop because I wasn't with her, because I am the one who reports the case to the teachers. So they went and attacked my friend. And she came back and told me that this is what has happened. So in this situation, and police, we told the teacher and they confront the class. And they went back and attacked her. In this situation, are we supposed to confront the teachers again, or we should give it to the police? That was my question.
Well, it's first of all, I recognize your situation because I had the similar situation when I was at school a couple of years ago. But at first, the first thing you did was very good to go to the teacher. The second step is go to the rector. Next step is go to the director of the school. But when he is openly discriminating you, and discrimination is a very, I can understand why it's still, but it's still a difficult crime to, how you say it, to prove. Because it's about feeling, it's about how it affects you, what the meaning is for the person who is saying it. So there's a lot of interpretation in what is discrimination and how does it come to you. Well, I think the way how the law is now on discrimination, I think it can be more effective, because the discrimination, I don't think there is any way of perspective in discrimination. No, it's discrimination or it's not. For example, but that's my personal opinion. I think which is going to need taken care of. But when there's discrimination, you can always go to the police, or you can go to the discrimination point. That's also here in Amsterdam, and they can advise you what's the best way to do. Because sometimes criminal law is not the most effective way to find your right in discrimination. Sometimes they have a large network of people who can bring this up and bring it to the right place to get your right. And sometimes they can go to the school and say, well, you have to do something or else you have a problem. Or they will say to you, well, go to the media and make a story about it. So the discrimination point here in Amsterdam is the most important place to, first of all, call to that number. They have people in different languages. You can call to the number. You can go to their location and ask for advice. And when they say go to the police, then 9 of the 10 times they have it right out, and they can help you going to the police, and we will pick up the cases. Because this discrimination, for me, well, I have to say I had the same experience, and it's hurting you. It's hurting you.
See, I love such honest answers. Oh, let's give it to him. Let's give it to him. It is pure. We don't have to. You know, if you want to heal any disease, you should know the antidote. So if we cover things up that it is not true, it is not like that, it is not in Holland, Holland doesn't discriminate. Please, 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 let's talk about it.
Let's talk about something else too. And that's about power.
You can't talk about power when you discriminate me.
No, there's always, so I understand your point, but it's also, let's talk about power. Even if you don't have power, you have possibilities. If you have the knowledge how to do that, it was given now, what is the right way to do that? But if you are in a classroom and you are alone, don't go alone. Go with 2, 3, 4, 5 people. Don't think it's only you. Find people that can support you, that will support you, that will go all the way. And yeah, so make sure that you're not alone.
Can I, because of my experience, you can see that in the topic we talk about psychosis, depression, and many of our children are having mental problems. And they have this mental problem through the way they are being treated in institution, in school, and even tonight, a parent came to me, and the parent is here. And the child is just, I don't want to use the strong word, mad. Just because you have done your best, and because of your color, they discriminate you, and the child gets depression, from the depression, now madness. The mother is here. What is, I don't know, it is not once. Many of our youths now are having depression. Some are in their room for 4 years without going out. Some don't baba. You know rare madness? And this is what the mother told me. Some are in, it is appalling. We are pleading that we are human beings. And, Dutch society, they are doing good. We love them. They love people. But we want them to do better. Isn't it? We want them to do better. So it is a fact. The discrimination is there. They are doing their best. When we compare it with other countries, they are doing good. But good is not enough. The same thing applies to the police. We want them to do better. Most of the African youth have mental problems because of institutional discrimination.
The floor is open at this moment.
Hello, yeah. My name is Chris. Actually, we are on the subject of discrimination, but then I had a point on the criminality I wanted to put across before the man from the start leaves, because that would have been a message rather to the lawmakers. I believe once the police is here, you still have an information to give across when it comes to passing information to the lawmakers. On the subject of criminality, you will see that the society has contributed a lot to the increase of criminality, in the sense that this is a society where when attain 18 or 21 years, you have, the right to go in to buy this substance of marijuana. It is allowed, and it is established that the marijuana could be used, whereby science proves that the use of these substances makes some people very high and some of them very low. Because when you take the marijuana, some people become very calm the whole day. Those guys are the lazy ones who doesn't want to go to school or doesn't want to work, because the marijuana calms them down. Those who get high are those who commit offenses. And I believe the jail records will prove, if the police have the records, you prove that about 70 or 80% of criminals in the jail are people who use these substances. Because when they use the substance, anything they want to do,
they get the energy to go and do that. So, will there be any attempt to pass information to the lawmakers to see to it? Because 15 years ago, around the Burma, there was no coffee shop. Yes. This is an area which has already been designated as a no-go area, or let's say a crime area. Then, after 15 years, they come to Stade Amsterdam, allow the coffee shop to be established here in the Burma. So when I say the society is also contributing to this, I know exactly you will believe with me. So I had wanted the Stade man to pass this information in the coffee break, maybe. That's all. Thank you.
Yes. Well, first of all, I think I speak for the police, and I have the same road to the lawmakers, so that's no problem. But in case of the coffee shop, we were against it. Wow! From the start. The second coffee shop, we were against it from the start. The institution tower, we were against it. But we are not allowed to speak about it. But we did our ways to make it work that it's not coming here. So for us as police, we know what this area doesn't need. And we are now trying to block every initiative that there is where we can see it's bringing no good to the neighborhood. So when the prostitution tower, for example, was a possibility, I know how the system works. Well, in the south of Amsterdam, well, the people are complaining immediately when they hear there's a prostitution tower, because people there have strong links to higher positions. It's a known fact. In the north of Amsterdam, it's booming. People are building there, so the house price needs to be up. No prostitution tower. West, well, West, we're working on it. Maybe it's in West. Oh, Southeast. Nobody's complaining, I think. We'll put it in Southeast. That's my opinion how I think it works. Okay? But, for example, people not everybody cares about Southeast, how in Holland, how it should be. And we are trying to stop, as police, we're trying to stop all these initiatives, because we are coming with numbers. They say, well, you put the prostitution tower here. You have seen what happened in the center of Amsterdam, what you needed to clean the streets, to fight against crime over there. How many people? We don't have that people. We don't have that capacity here in Southeast. So when you put the tower here on walking distance from Vensterpolder, what are you going to create? And what we did was we asked the mayor, come here, come see. And we showed the mayor, you want to put the tower here? And let's now walk to the first building with citizens. She said, wow, is it this close? Yeah, it's this close. So on paper, you think it's on the other side of Southeast, but no, it's next to the neighborhood. So that's the reason why we don't want it here. Well, it's not coming here, so that's something I'm glad about. But there are a lot of things what you say, well, substance misuse, let's say it like that, because some people use cannabis as a recreative drug. And I don't want to bring everybody, give their own name that they're all junkies or something, but there are people who are using substances as a tool to numb their feelings and to commit crimes. Killing somebody or raping someone or robbing someone just to get the excitement away, to be clear focused for their feeling and commit a crime. So yeah, substance use is in a lot of ways combined with criminal activities. And it's part of a second economy, and also here in Southeast.
Thank you. Wow. Now the youth. And then we come to...
Ik heb een
another
situatie
youth there.
gevolgd met een paar vragen. Ik bracht een paar vrienden naar huis en reden 3 auto's achter mij. En vervolgens...
The questions that were said
today, and I was with friends, and they were following me to my house.
Ja, ik bracht ze dus in de auto naar huis en er reden 3 auto's achter mij en daarop de politie.
There were 3 cars following me and also the police.
En op een gegeven moment reden de auto's naar rechts, dus was politie als enige achter mij.
So at a certain moment, the cars passed to the right, and the police was only driving behind me.
Dus ik sloeg af naar links en ik reed heel normaal. Vervolgens sloeg ik af om mijn vrienden af te zetten en ik kreeg een stop politieteken.
I went to the left, and then I set my friends at their destination, and then I got a stop police sign.
Vervolgens komen de agenten en ze vroegen mij om mijn rijbewijs of een ID. Maar die had ik niet bij me, omdat ik mijn pasjeshouders niet bij me had. Dus ik had wel mijn kentekenbewijs. En dat had ik dus afgegeven toen.
So the police stopped me, the officers stopped me, and they said, do you have your driving license? Do you have anything to insure yourself? And he said, no, but I have my car plate license.
En hij heeft alles in het systeem bekeken, een paar vragen gesteld, alles goed beantwoord. Vervolgens vraagt hij mij om uit te stappen. Oké, ik dacht, ik meewerken. Hij pakt zijn handschoen in de auto en begint me te vieren.
So he checked the system, everything was okay, everything was correct. And at a certain moment he said I should step out of the car, of the vehicle. And then he took his gloves and he searched me.
En hij had niks gevonden. Vervolgens vroeg hij om mijn vrienden ook te laten uitstappen. En hij begon ook de auto te bekijken.
So he was not alone, he was with his friends. And he asked the friends to come out of the vehicle. And the officers also searched the friends at that moment.
En niks gevonden, moest ik de kofferbak ook nog eens open doen. Niks gevonden. Vervolgens mochten we weer gaan zitten. Ging hij met zijn collega praten voor denk ik 5 minuten. En toen kwam hij terug, wilde hij mij een bekeuring geven voor het niet kunnen aantonen van mijn rijbewijs.
So at that very moment they searched the car, they searched thoroughly. They found nothing, no evidence of any crime acted out by him. And then he got a fine for not having a driving license.
Dus ik daarop reageerde van, waarom krijg ik een bekeuring van mijn rijbewijs als tegenwoordig alles digitaal is? En hij had daar niet echt heel goed antwoord op. Mijn vraag naar jullie is, heeft jullie collega op dat moment goed gehandeld? Mijn tweede vraag daarop is, wordt er nog steeds, of tenminste, van mijn gevoel, wordt er etnisch geprofileerd? En mijn laatste vraag is, wat kunnen wij, jongens in de buurt, beter doen, waardoor wij jullie politieagenten niet als vijand zien, maar meer als vriend? Want ik heb het gevoel dat wij jullie hedendaags meer als vijand zien dan als vriend.
Politie, antwoord.
Ja, een hele herkenbare casus. Ik denk dat dat er een aantal dingen... Ik zat er met mijn collega te praten van, hey, wat horen we aan bevoegdheden, wat voorbij komt, et cetera. Als het gaat om het selectiemechanisme, waarom je eruit bent gepikt, kan ik geen antwoord op geven. Dat durf ik niet te zeggen, want ik was er niet bij, dus ik weet niet wat de reden is geweest dat hij je aan de kant heeft gezet.
So we were checking, I was hearing to the test case, I was checking with my officer the procedures that were made by those that were at that moment present, and we were checking if everything is correct. And because I do not know your case, I have to listen and discuss and also evaluate how it proceeded.
Dus voor hoe jij geselecteerd bent om dat stopwoord te krijgen, dat weet ik niet. Dus daar kan ik helaas geen antwoord op geven.
Why you got the stop police sign, I don't know because I wasn't there, so I cannot give any question or any answer, sorry.
Ja? Oké, je was dan schommel op de weg. Nou, in dat geval, als dan zeg je bent dat schommel op de weg, dan kan het, dan zou het een legitieme reden kunnen zijn om je staande te houden op grond van de wegen- en verkeerswet. Dus dan mag je een stopteken geven.
If you are moving across the road, it is legitimate that they can ask you to stop and pass by on the side.
Ja. Nou, vervolgens geef je aan, je wordt staande gehouden, je moet je ID-bewijs laten zien, of je rijbewijs laten zien, en die heb je niet bij je. Dat is, volgens de wet is dat een overtreding. De wet zegt, je moet hem bij je hebben, je moet hem kunnen tonen. Ondanks dat hij digitaal is, je moet in het bezit zijn van een rijbewijs om het te kunnen laten zien.
So because of the test case, you didn't have your driving license, you didn't have your identity card with you, according to the law, it is possible, or it is actually, it must happen that you will get a fine for that. So at that moment, they were actually working according to the law.
Even sect gezien de wet, hè? Niet de emotie eromheen. Sterker nog, als je je niet kan identificeren, mag je aangehouden worden volgens de wet. Want de wet zegt, je moet je altijd kunnen identificeren als je ouder bent dan 14, als het ware. Dan moet je altijd een legitimatiebewijs voor een paspoort bij je hebben.
According to the law, if you cannot identify yourself, if you are 14 and above, you will get a fine.
Yeah, or you can get arrested.
Or you can get arrested for that even.
Ja. Jij hebt op een gegeven moment gezegd, stap uit en dan gaat fouilleren. Nou, in dat geval heb ik het net over van, ja, dat is een identiteitsfouillering, dat kan. Op het moment dat jij niks bij je hebt, dan mag je zeggen, oké, maar dan ga ik je fouilleren om te kijken of je echt een legitieme niks bij je hebt. Want ik heb ook vaak iemand die zegt, ik heb niks bij me en dan blijkt er wel wat bij te hebben. Dus hij mag jou fouilleren, maar heeft hij dat ook aan je medegedeeld of niet? Mag ik jou fouilleren of heeft hij gezegd waarom hij je ging fouilleren? Oké, nou, daar vind ik dat daar wel een vraag over zijn, maar waarom dan? Ik vind... Sorry? Ja, maar dan nog zou ik zeggen nee. Ik denk in dit geval, als het gaat om bevoegdheden, mag je jou fouilleren. Dat mocht je qua wet doen. Omdat je niks bij hebt, dus op basis van de wetidee mag je jou dan alleen fouilleren en je auto checken of jij geen legitimatiebewijs bij je hebt. Mag, alleen ik vind wel dat hij dat dan netjes aan jou moet vertellen. Dus de eerste uitleg van, oké, je bent gestopt. Om die en die reden heb ik je staande gehouden. Heb je rijbewijs bij je? Nee, heb ik niet. Heb je identiteitsbewijs bij je? Nee, heb ik niet. Ik heb wel de papieren. Nou, dan kan hij checken in het systeem. En dan kan hij ervoor kiezen om jou alsnog te fouilleren op de basis van de wetidee.
According to, I give a summary.
Sorry.
According to everything, he evaluated the questions. The questions that were given, you didn't have your driving license, you didn't have your identity card, or you could not identify yourself. According to the law, the officer can and may search you at that moment for identity purpose. So he did that concerning identity.
Om je auto helemaal te doorzoeken, dat vind ik nog wel twijfelachtig. Ik weet niet wat daar zijn reden is geweest of wat zijn bevoegdheden zijn geweest die hij op dat moment gebruikt heeft. Als hij het jou vraagt en jij geeft toestemming, dan mag je dat doen. Maar als hij het aan jou vraagt en jij zegt nee, dat wil ik niet, dan heb je het recht om dat te doen. Tenzij de wet voorschrijft dat hij het mag doen. Dus een identiteitsfouillering, jou fouilleren, de auto mag je checken op een legitimatiebewijs, maar dan vind ik het wel netjes als hij zegt waarom hij het doet.
So concerning the searching of the car, the reason for this could be that he was searching for an identity. But if he was going to search the car, it is politely for him to ask beforehand, can I or may I search the car? If your answer is yes, he will search it. If your answer is no, he is not obligated, he cannot or he may not search the car at that moment.
Well, it's a little bit different. Yeah. What I said was, he has the right to search your car. In case of the law about your identity, you need to show your identity. So he can search the car for identification papers. And if he isn't using that law, he's not allowed to search your car. And then he can ask you, do you give permission to search your car? And if you say no, he cannot search your car. So there are two ways. If he's searching your car because of searching for your identity card, then he's within the rules. But if he's searching your car and he asks you, can I search your car? And you say yes, or you say no, that's a difference. Yeah? So let's say in this case, I can feel what you mean about ethnic profiling. Because he didn't explain what he did, there's a lot of room for interpretation. There's a lot of room for a feeling that you are picked out because you're black.
Yeah.
So what we are teaching, I'm one of the ambassadors in our police station, and we teach colleagues to explain what you do. Explain why are you stopping me? What's the reason you're searching me? Explain what you do. It's not rocket science. It's our Bible, the law. It's our Bible as police. The law says what we can do and what we can do. So we can explain to you, when you ask for what is the right for searching my car, we need to tell you what the right is to search your car. And if a colleague says, well, I won't tell you. No. That's not the way that we teach them to do it. And then it's about the way you are treated. And when it's about the way you are treated, you can always come to the police station to file a complaint. And believe me, you can also do it by internet. When there is a complaint, we take all the complaints seriously. 2 complaints who are proven against the police officer means he can lose his job. And if you go to the police station, you have the feeling they're not taking your complaint seriously, go to Pastor Coney, he will call me and I will take your complaint. Yeah? Because we need to do something also to give you the feeling that we are a police for everyone. So we are also your police. That means you need to feel protected when we are in the area, and not that we are hunting on people and making people their lives miserable. And when there is a colleague of mine who is doing that, I want to kick him out. He doesn't need to be here. I'm not talking for myself, I'm talking also for my superiors. They have the same way. When there is a colleague who isn't doing his work good, complain about it. First step, we can have a conversation with you, and you can explain what it does to you, what the feeling is for his, what his action made for feeling in your guts. Tell him. And if the colleague doesn't have any empathy or doesn't want to change, then there's no place for you in the police. And for instance, not in Southeast.
Let me say this in addition. The police in Southeast have a track record. Whatever they see, they do. Since we started this dialogue, they have taken a lot of actions we discuss here. Let's give it to them. Let's give it. No, I mean it. And that is why I say Holland police is the best police of the whole wide world. Do you agree? Listen, I remember those days here in the dialogue. They were controlling ethnic profiling here by the market, by the even metro station, and everywhere. People were jumping from 9th floor, killing themselves. We came here, we talk about it. They promise us they are not going. The time we realize all this killing has stopped. This is a track record. Believe them and trust them. Do you hear what I'm saying? I mean it. This is a track record. There's one, when I tell you to blow your mind, they even have our own brothers commissioner here. Yeah, you don't know. We talk it about here. I think I remember we dialogue that how can you bring people from Groningen, Leeuwarden, Enschede? They don't know our culture. So we did cross-culture communication with them. You remember? So even if you want to bring, we don't want to discriminate. If you want to bring somebody from Groningen, attach it with someone who understands the system. Because in our culture, where I'm coming from, the way I'm talking now, you will think I'm aggressive. But that is my normal way of talking. Whether you like it or not. Because in Accra, it is noisy. So when I see my brother, hello, brother. But to the police here, they talk like romantic. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, I want us to get those who ask questions because of our time. So Bernard, Pastor Waterberg, the youth. So we have now 4. So with those 4, then we will try to wind up. Do you get him right? Because next time we will continue. MC, pick it up.
Please also note the people that are coming after the next program, the next dialogue. Please remember the questions that you have. It is very important, even the questions that we have addressed today. It is very important that we address it to their face as well. So anyone that is here with a question, please write it down. And please, can anyone give the microphone to our Deacon Benjamin at the back, please? and Pastor Wado.
Hallo, goedenavond. Ik heet Benjamin. Ik heb een verhaal wat best wel lijkt op wat mijn broeder Kenneth had verteld. Ik had een vriend van me afgezet.
I have a story that is likewise to the story of our brother Kenneth. I set off a friend.
En toen zag ik dat er een politieauto achter me reed,
And I
terwijl ik hem aan het afzetten was.
car was following me at the back.
En toen zag ik tot mijn verbazing opeens een stopteken.
And through my surprise, I saw a stop police sign.
En ik stopte op de plek toevallig waar ik die vriend had afgezet. Dus toen stopte ik mijn auto, toen stapte zij uit en toen vroeg ze me om mijn rijbewijs. Heb ik gegeven.
So I was standing there and they said the same questions. Do you have your driving license? And I gave the driving license at that moment.
En toen vroeg ik waarom word ik stilgehouden. En toen gaf ze aan dat zij mij nog niet kennen in de buurt. Dus
So I got the question that, I asked the question that, why have you stopped me at this certain moment? And then they said, I don't know you in this neighborhood.
ja, echt gebeurd.
This is a true story.
Partij!
Ja.
I only have one answer for that.
Oké.
Wrong.
Zeker,
Wrong.
zeker.
Maar ga verder.
Ja, toen gaf hij aan, ik heb me nog niet in de buurt. Toen zei ik oké. Toen ben ik vervolgens gewoon weggereden. Ik kon gewoon wegrijden, niks aan de hand verder. En toen ging ik verder nadenken van, oké, ik was in een witte buurt. Vrij wit, laat me het even zo benadrukken. Er waren niet veel donkere mensen in die buurt. Dus ik vind al dat het best wel een verdachte situatie is dat ik dan staande word gehouden, zeg maar.
So I was in the conversation and he said that to me that I don't know you in this neighborhood. And then I answered to him, so what can I answer to that? And he drove off, and at that moment I was contemplating. And I was thinking, has this really happened to me? Is this really true? I'm in a neat neighborhood, in a white neighborhood, and I'm not white. I'm not what they think, what they've pictured me. So why has this happened to me?
Yes, en de vraag die ik wil stellen is, hier in Zuidoost, wat je aan het begin al van het panel zei, zijn er best wel veel culturen, veel geloven gemengd. Dus kunnen best wel veel agenten zich vinden in de diversiteit die ze onder mensen zien.
So here in Southeast, there are many cultures, many differences between the people, between the society that is here. So can the police see that?
Maar buiten Amsterdam Zuidoost of buiten Amsterdam, Rotterdam, Den Haag, is dat niet vanzelfsprekend. Wat wordt er landelijk gedaan om dit soort acties vanuit politieagenten te herkennen? Zeg maar, worden er psychologische testen afgenomen voordat je echt zo'n licentie krijgt om agent te worden, zodat je kan herkennen wat ethisch klopt? Of gaat men ervan uit dat als je gewoon een gevoel voor handhaving hebt, dat je gewoon agent kan worden? Dus dat is eigenlijk mijn vraag.
So here in Amsterdam, they can understand this question, this problem. But how is it in Rotterdam and Den Haag? How's the national approach concerning ethnical reasoning? How is the procedure to hiring such a person? Do they have a screening? How does that go is the question for you.
Als antwoord op jouw situatie die je hebt meegemaakt. Ik heb exact dezelfde situatie meegemaakt. Exact hetzelfde. Ik ben door mijn eigen collega gecontroleerd. En hij zei letterlijk tegen mij, er wonen niet zo heel veel mensen die eruit zien zoals jij hier in de buurt. En daarom hebben we je gecontroleerd.
So I have the same thing that happened to me with the ethnical control, and he asked me what happened, why am I sleeping. He didn't know what was happening, and it was even his own colleague at that moment in this country.
En ik ben toen heel boos geworden, want ik heb hem niet gezegd dat ik van de politie was.
So I was very mad. I didn't tell him that I was from the police.
En toen hij klaar was met zijn controle, toen zei ik, mag ik 1 vraag aan je stellen?
And when he was done, I asked him, can I ask you one question?
Ik ben nu een collega, waar kan ik mijn klacht indienen?
I am a colleague, where can I file in my complaint?
En ik kan zeggen, de beste man was wit, maar hij werd transparant, kan ik je vertellen.
And I can say that the very person, he was white, but he became a little bit pale.
Op je tweede vraag.
Your second question.
Over het selectiemechanisme. Daar wordt nu aan gewerkt. En dat is al nu een jaar gaande.
About the selection procedure, they are working on it and it's been going on for a year.
En de bedoeling is dat de werving nu ook anders gaat. De werving is meer gericht op dat we liefst willen dat collega's mensen werven die ze kennen. Dat is 1. Er is een quotum nu voor diverse instroom. Dus dat heeft gewoon voorrang.
So the selection procedures now, it has gone different. They are really asking their colleagues, who do you know and who can come to the police force? So that's how the selection procedure is at this moment.
I'll do it in English for the.
Yeah,
so.
no problem.
And we have a diversity goal here in Amsterdam. Here in Amsterdam, we said the rest of the country said, well, it's 40% diversity. Here in Amsterdam, we said, no, it needs to be 60% diversity. And here in Southeast, on our particular police station here in Southeast, they have said we only want people who know Southeast by have been lived there, having known one of the communities by heart, dus by heart or by mind, can integrate here very fast, or have digital knowledge. If you don't have one of those competencies, you're not coming to work here in Southeast. That's one thing. That's the only police station here in the Netherlands who has that rule now. So that's very unique for this area. But we have work to do. And my question immediately is, we need people like you in the police force. Yeah, but you're now saying, no. Maybe it's about your experience. I can understand it. But if we don't, I joined the police just to make a difference about my opinion about the police, because I hated the police. And I went there and said, I can scream, I can shout at the police, I can complain about it, but I can only change it by joining them. And now I'm here and I'm in the position to change it. So we need to participate in that system just to change it. If we don't do it, we will always be on the sidelines and we will never have a seat at the table. And now I have a seat at the table. But it's hard work, and you're not alone when you join the police force with your brothers or sisters. Let me say it like that. But we need people, because you can tell us how your community works. And if we don't have that expertise inside, it's difficult to get it from outside. And now we do it with our program here with Pastor Coney. I bring all the all-white students here in Southeast come here when I have an introduction program. We come here in the church. I tell them about the community, but I can tell it better than one of you who's part of the community. And we had one colleague here from Ghanaian descent. But if you look at other African communities, there are, well, I can tell them on 2 hands. I can count them on 2 hands for the whole police force in Holland, because there are not a lot of people from African descent who are joining the police. And I can understand, because our image is not always the right image according to black people in our relationship. But it's something we need to work. If you see in our police force here in Southeast, a year ago we had 70 police officers. Now we have 130 here. And the last 60 who joined us has or cultural diversity, or they have expertise on digital part, or they come from this area. They are born here and raised here in this area. And our chief here is born and raised here in Southeast. So we need to make a difference, but the difference, we can't make it alone. So we need your help to make the difference. And if it means intercultural lessons, I'm open to it. If you want to give it to us, you want to give your knowledge about your community inside our police force, you're welcome. Because that's what we need. Oh, yeah.
Uh, het in het Nederlands. Ik heb me niet bedacht dat ik vanavond zou spreken, zeg ik u eerlijk.
I'm doing it in Dutch. I didn't expect for me to talk or to speak this evening.
Dit is de eerste keer dat ik hier ben, maar ik hoorde net een goede vraag die niet beantwoord is. En ik hoop dat ik hem goed herhaal.
This is the first time, and the very first question that was asked tonight, and I think I can remember it, but I'm gonna recall it back.
Ik hoorde net een vraag. Hoe kunnen we ervoor zorgen dat we meer vrienden worden dan vijanden? Heb ik hem zo goed herhaald?
The question was, how can I make sure that we become more friends than enemies?
Ik vond het echt een hele mooie vraag, waarbij ik echt denk, je hebt een punt.
I found it a very nice question. You have a definite point.
Hoe kunnen wij dit met elkaar doen?
How can we do this together?
Ik heb zo geluisterd nu vanavond naar deze mooie bijeenkomst, deze groep mensen.
I've listened this evening to this nice unity, this nice gathering of people.
En ik voel een hele sterke en hechte groep hier voor mij zitten.
And I feel a very strong and bond, a unity in this group.
En je vraag blijft een beetje open, want ik heb eigenlijk al de halve avond een vraag ook naar jullie. En het is meer een vraag wat ik me afvraag.
This question that you asked is still open because I also have a question for myself and I was reasoning about it the whole night.
En misschien sluit mijn vraag aan op jouw vraag.
And I think my question will come across or will come in line with your question.
Ik vroeg me af, we hadden het in het begin van de avond over een steekpartij. Dat is een heftig incident.
In the beginning of this evening we were talking about a stabbing event and it's quite hectic.
Hoe kunnen wij elkaar helpen om, nou laat ik het anders zeggen. Hoe kan het met deze mooie, sterke groep dat de bel maar stil blijft als zoiets gebeurt?
How can we as a strong group let the Belma stay quiet or stay silent?
Want ik kan me herinneren, 2019, 2020, tijdens de coronarellen.
I can remember 2019, 2020 actually, during the corona riots.
Dat jullie als Zuidoost trots mogen zijn op jullie zelf. Dat Zuidoost het als enige voor elkaar heeft gekregen dat er geen rellen uitbraken. Want Zuidoost zei nee, dit komt hier niet. Wij willen dit niet. Iedereen heeft zich verenigd. Sta samen. Die rellen komen hier niet. Als we kijken naar Amsterdam-Oost, een en al rel.
You can be very proud of yourself as a strong group that Southeast is. Because during those riots, you were the only group that prevented it by speaking out. If you look at East, it happened. If you look at the other neighborhoods around in Amsterdam, something was caused there.
En stiekem maakt mij dat ook wel een beetje trots.
And it makes me proud.
Om politieagenten mogen zijn hier in Zuidoost met zulke sterke mensen en zo'n sterke groep.
To be a police officer in such a strong society, a strong group with togetherness.
Maar daarbij blijft de vraag, hoe kunnen wij, als ik hem zo mag stellen, als politie en burgers beter met elkaar omgaan? En hoe kunnen wij elkaar, of nee, hoe moet ik dit zeggen? Ja, waar kunnen we elkaar vinden? Hoe kunnen we elkaar beter naar elkaar toe komen?
So how, me as a police officer and you as a citizen of this neighborhood, how can we help each other and how can we find each other together at the meeting place?
En misschien is dit een vraag die niet nu beantwoord gaat worden, maar misschien is het wel een vraag waar we met z'n allen over na kunnen denken om het alleen maar beter en gemakkelijker voor onszelf te maken en een fijner en veiligere buurt voor elkaar te maken.
Maybe this question cannot be answered today, but we can think about it and make this neighborhood, a society, a safe one together.
Punt.
Yeah.
Full stop.
Pastor Waterbear, listen. I have 4 people, I think, to close. So Pastor Waterbear, and then from Pastor Waterbear, the lady there, and then you. Those who came later, I'll check. Please. Because we have at least 15 minutes to close, and then the panelists will bring their last word. We thank Elizabeth for coming. But you know, anytime you are dialoguing, it is joy. When you feel uncomfortable, it means the point is good.
My question will go to our sister who just joined. Yeah. And a couple of years back, we had this dialogue in here, and I think the father of the house mentioned before Eduse left. And then it was said in here that out of the social houses that were being built, there was allocation, a portion of it that is going to be allocated to the young people of this, coming from this area. Today, a lot of young people at least in this area, there is the sense, because we have not seen facts here, that's why I'm asking this question. There is a sense that young people, they are in this area, they are applying for houses, social houses that are being built in here, and based on whatever the reasons may be or whatever system being used, they are not being offered those houses. Are there statistics, are there proof, are there anything to show out of the houses that are being built in here, if there are 100, out of that 100, how many of that 100 is going to people who lives in this area?
That's a very good question. Amsterdam Satos, what they say is that they give voorrang to 25% of Amsterdam Satos in total. And for some projects, it's just for the youth. 25% of the building, all the complexes, 25% will go to the youth of Amsterdam Satos. To be very honest, they don't have as far as I know, they don't have statistics, and they're under the impression that it's going well. But that's the reason why we are, fighting so hard and being like, we are also getting these signals that people aren't getting any voorrang towards those houses. And I know that there are some projectontwikkelaars, at least one, for example, the Sweetie Wonen in Kraaiennest, where they said, we will only let people live there who come from Belmer, who come from a social house, and who also have a certain type of income, so middeninkomen, not higher than that, not lower than that. So there are some projectontwikkelaars, but to be honest, the gemeente itself, they're just now starting to work from the perspective of the bewoner of Amsterdam Zuidoost. And that's for us, because we are also young, we are really doing our best to make the voice of the young people heard at gemeente, to be like, yo, this is what is going on. And indeed, there are a lot of projects, but you are not considering us, to be honest. And I'm on your side. I don't think they are really considering us, even though they are stating that they are doing that. So yeah, we are doing our best to make sure the youth of Belmer will get more voorrang when it comes to that.
You see, this is the reason why all the dialogue we organized for the years getting to, they are here, nearly. They run away. And we invite them. You know, let me be honest. Let's face facts. They came here and promised houses. The same people will come and complain against our youth. That they are like that. They are like that. If now you register in your parents' house, then they will tell you they have cut your income, whatever. So many things. So you frustrate us and you come to us, solve the problem. The truth is stubborn. If I live here in South Coast and I'm living with my mom and my dad, and I'm 18 and I'm 21, and I couldn't get a place to stay, and you want me to take my address from my mother's house, where should I put it? In your house? And when you go to other municipalities, certain things we experience here, it's not happening there. And we must be honest to each other. Another side of the coin. You live in a social house, There's a lot of our brothers and sisters who don't have housing, and you help them. You just help them. You don't want them to live in the cold. Winter is coming. They live in your house. Now, the housing corporation or the city council have house city council police. They will come to your house and knock, beep, 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 and then they show it. I'm police for housing. Police for what housing? I want to see if somebody is living in your house. So if I have 3 bedrooms and I'm living alone and I help somebody, is that a crime? Because we are not talking. And then they will kick you out. The same social house. 1 week, then they put, take hope. Take hope what? You say, let's talk about it. Because it is irritating. And my young lady, housing lady, we need house. The Dudley Bestow 4-seater. We invite them, and sometimes initiative you took, it was solving community problem for years. We have been to police academy and the police. That is why I'm proud of the police. Through cross-cultural communication, they have even put it in the academy. They are doing a lot of it. They always come and answer their questions. Now they have made it a law. If we complain against you twice, they will sack you. Next question.
I was having an urgent question, if I may, regarding the housing issue, because I've heard 2 incidents of children being with their parents, and their parents unfortunately passed away. And then what happens most often is that the house is being taken from them as well. But what I do know about housing is they have urgent, for people that is urgency, they give their houses to. Aren't these people also classified as urgent? So my question is there any quick solution, or what happens to the children? Because 2 incidents that I've heard, that I know people, that they've been threatened or they're in danger of losing their homes because the parents are no longer there.
To be honest, in Amsterdam, they perceive a lot of groups as urgent. So this is very urgent indeed, but we had a presentation this Monday, and they perceive a lot of groups as urgent. So for example, someone who's 20 and who has 2 kids and lives with their parents but needs to get out of the house because the house is it's also urgent. So you have a lot of urgent groups. And I'm actually happy hearing this because what I said, we are trying to get in contact with the decision makers and also talk about that this is also urgent. So please make room for these kids, because it's indeed very urgent for them to find a house. And I think that landelijk, they're looking at this that as soon as your parents pass away, that you need to leave the house. Because I know for at least 1 case, they did a petition, and I think they didn't have to leave the house. So I think they're looking at it landelijk, but don't pinpoint me on it.
There's another one that I hear. It is like the fellow dies. That house is a social house. The child was born there, and the child is 26 years for the whole life of that child. Immediately the father passed away, they kick the child out. You see the emotion attached to it. I'm born in the house with my parents. Why can't they give it to that child? He have the income, he can pay for the rent, and then they kick him out.
So
unfortunate.
I feel like if you have the opportunity to address this issue, please also, if possible, add this to it, is that there is no reason to classify them as urgent if they actually already have a house. But for us to kick them out, then they become urgent, and then they will be listed to those that are urgent. But so in the beginning, I think prevention is better than cure. So
the lady from the housing company, Lisa, say something, and then this your man, hey, you are my man, you will be the last. You two, somebody has a question live. Oh, you are on live. Oh, it's good, I'm alive. So the whole program was live. Oh, give them a hand. So the one who has question live, let's answer the fellow first. Then Lisa come. The one
all right.
Live. Oh, yeah.
This question is not about housing, but it's about paid parking. His question is paid parking coming to Southeast? And if so, when and what are the ideas?
Can I answer this? Southeast is our paradise. We don't want pay parking here. Thank you. Let's go. Lisa. Lisa, I have 10 minutes to wind out there, please. Before the panelists will answer. Quickly. Yes.
I just wanted to say I know that that they are working on some sort of program to keep jongvolwassen wezen in their houses. I also told my senior that I wanted to be the one who is involved in that. So if I will know more about that or something, then of course I can inform you guys. But indeed, it is difficult. I understand that if you live in your parents' house for 26 years, then and then all of a sudden they kick you out, then it's not nice. But on the other side, I don't want to. But on the other side, it is so that other people who have been on the waiting list, for example, on Woningnet for like over 10 years, they have been waiting, and then the house will be given to someone who hasn't. That is what makes it difficult.
Even if you,
it's not
let
that
me
I
give
agree.
it to you.
It's not that I
Even
agree.
if you, whether you agree or you don't agree,
that makes it
the
difficult.
truth is, the fellow was born in the house.
Yeah, I understand.
And who cares who registered 10 years? Go and find you one.
Thank you.
Hello, my time, your man. And then the last one, please. Those who are on live, tell them we greet them.
I had a question about convicted felons that got released and got reinstated back into society. What is the government doing about them and how to reinstate them into the society? Because some of them find it hard finding a job because of their criminal record, and then it's easy for them to like sell drugs or do fraud or do whatever to earn an income.
Very good question. What I know now, there's a new program. It is called Criminal Law and Perspective, and it's where the high lords from court, our supreme district attorneys, attorney generals are now in a program with people who have who are coming from communities where this problem is a large issue, and they are now talking about how can you give someone perspective the moment they are released from jail. Because now the system says the moment you're out or in the last months of your sentence, they will help you go out and go back to society. But what we see now is that people need to be reintegrated far more earlier in prison. So they need to have, in an earlier state, they need to have in prison, need to have the right to go to follow school, they have the right to go on training or follow study programs, check for a house, because that's something what also is a problem, because when you're out of jail and your family says, well, we don't want you, where are you going to sleep? Or where are you going to live? And when you don't have a house, we also know you need 3 parts. You need a house, you need a counterpart in your life, a partner, and you need a job. When you have those 3 things, stability is more common than the moment that when you have one of those 3 parts misses. So they're now trying to make a new program to reevaluate the whole system. And I don't know how long it's going to take, but I know that the people who are in it are very critical about the old system, and they're also very critical against the lawmakers. Well, how can we make sure that these people don't go back into criminality? Because when they go back, it's a circle, and we don't solve the problem. I hope that I have answered your question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Listen, okay, my daughter, you are welcome. Last one.
Yeah,
You two, the last one. Then we will allow the panelists. Lisbeth will handle one issue from a psychiatry problem in handoving. How can we help the guy, and many more. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to go back to the topic about mental health problems in the African community. The problem is we're scared to talk about it because once you talk about it, they'll associate you with witchcraft. So, oh, you're before, oh, wabodam, stuff like that. And it puts you off. So we need to make it, we should be able to discuss it and talk about it and seek help. So that's holding us back because of the stigma, like, oh, or you're before, or you're wabodamu, all these things. It doesn't help. So we should talk about it and seek help. That's the only way out, instead of holding back because of embarrassment and stuff like that. That's all I have to say.
Listen, mental sickness is the same sickness like headache. Do you hear it? So if you are sick mentally, this is not stigma about it. Where we are coming from, because of our concept, anything we spiritualize it. So please, if you are one who have, or you know anyone who have those problems, contact us. There is a help. And I don't think this is a secret. Psychiatry problem here is the same sickness like when you have, which sickness will be common for you, so that I can, hello, do you have one sickness which is common? You know what I mean. So contact us, we will find a way so that we will empower you to get out of it through the professionals. We will do that. Young lady, and then we will come to the panelists, please.
Goedenavond. Er was een vraag wat ging over hoe kunnen wij als politie zijnde en als burger ervoor zorgen dat we eerder vrienden worden dan vijanden.
There was a question, how can we as civilians, citizens with the police can be friends and not enemies?
Amen. En ik denk door begrip te hebben voor het stukje mens achter de daad. Van beide kanten uit. Dus zowel van burger naar politie, dus of van burger naar autoriteit, hoe je het wil noemen, maar ook van autoriteit naar burger.
So I think to understand the human aspect of we as citizens and those that are the police, that we will understand authority, but also the aspect of human, that they are human beings and that we are also human beings.
Ja, want voordat je een functietitel hebt gekregen, ben je ook mens. En nog steeds wanneer je die functietitel draagt, ben jij nog steeds mens. Dus een politie in pak is ook een mens. En een burger is ook een mens. So, de main factor blijft het stukje mens zijn.
So because of the function title, whatever title you have, if it be a citizen, if it be a police officer, you are still a human being. So what kind or what she's reflected to is the human aspect towards it.
Amen. En als ik dan kijk naar het stukje geloof, is dat wat wij als christenen ook toepassen op zondaars. En dat is dan van dat we begrijpen, een begrip hebben voor het feit dat we mens zijn en dus fouten maken. Maar dat we dat wel, hoe zeg je dat, behandelen, omarmen met liefde en het stukje mens zijn. Van het is oké dat je die fout hebt gemaakt, maar probeer begrip te hebben voor wat de ernst van de zaak is. Wat voor schade jij levert aan de maatschappij. En ik denk als dat stukje begrip neerdaalt in ons mensen, als we dan kijken naar criminaliteit en steekpartijen en et cetera, dan lossen we nog best wel veel op.
Thank you. Thank you.
Understand from a belief aspect, we also have this concept of looking at human beings. She's trying to reflect towards the police officers, towards the authority, that we must look at the human aspect of people. People make havoc to others, but we can also put a positive impact in their lives.
Wonderful. We are going to close, but we will go give the panelists their last word. We will have a new panelist for the housing problem, and we just want her to address us for the last word of yours. How you give us more houses. Don't come and tell us we should move to Lelystad. We don't like Lelystad. Burma is our place. You don't tell us we should move to Amere. Burma is our place. This is Halfweg naar Hema.
First of all, just to get back to what we just discussed, as young people, what you can do is, as soon as you get 18, start paying bills together with your parents, because that's when they see you. You register yourself at that address, and you start paying bills together with your parents, because then they see you as zeg maar, een bewoner of that house, and then they are not likely to kick you out. So just keep that in mind. Start paying bills with your parents.
Today, thank you. Today, all the youth who never pay rent, today you will pay rent. Hey. And even if you have bought your house, they should pay rent. Yeah.
Okay, I want to introduce myself. I am from OA Vastgoed. And what we actually do, we are just regular real estate agents, but we also we looked at the whole real estate concept, and we were like, most real estate agents, what they do, they sell you a house or whatever you need in that aspect, and after that it's done. But you know, whenever you have your house, you need to move as well. So we also help with the entire process after you get your house, or after you've sold your house or rented your house out. And we also have a social heart. We looked at living as a basic necessity. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm saying we are doing our best to be the voice of the youth in Belmer. We'll start here, and then we can go to other parts of Amsterdam or the Netherlands to help people. But we are from Belmer. We're also young, so we're starting here, being the voice of the youth in Belmer when it comes to housing. So follow us on social media, OA Vastgoed. And we'll keep you updated when it comes to housing, when it comes to maybe talking to you guys about the problems you face, so we can go to the gemeente and, you know, come up with solutions.
Thank you. And do you have your business card with you?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so after the program, you can see her as well.
Yes, thank you. I'm here to talk about chances, and I'm talking here about opportunities. We have a program here, a couple of doors further away. It's Grubbehoeve 38, where we have the program, Work, It's Yours. So anybody who wants to shine and make steps and learn and be visible and see opportunities. There's 2 people of your community who've already joined this program. There's Captain Steve, and I see Ogar. You came in later too. Tomorrow, they are shining in Grubbehoeve 38. We have an event, and it's all about food, and I know you love food. So tomorrow at 5:30 until 10 o'clock, all of them will show their talents, and you can see what we do and what we can do for you.
Wonderful.
Mag ik jullie bedanken voor dat ik hierbij aanwezig mocht zijn.
Order. What did she said, and it is offensive? She said we like food.
Yeah, but they always associate black people with food.
No. But please, you are right. Forgive her. She is sorry. That statement is not, generally, when you generalize a statement, people, not all blacks like food. Some Dutch also eat food. So please forgive her. Thank you. Let's go.
Mag ik jullie bedanken dat ik bij deze avond aanwezig
Order!
Please
You
let
see,
there be
that's
order
the
in the
dialogue.
room.
Yes, it's part of dialogue.
Mag ik jullie bedanken dat ik bij deze avond aanwezig mocht zijn. En mag ik jullie uitnodigen om, als jullie vragen hebben, ergens over willen praten, als jullie iets niet lekker zit, spreek me aan. Kom naar me toe. Kom naar de Belmer politiestation. Of gewoon op straat. Ik ben vooral op straat te vinden. En spreek me vooral aan. Laten we het hebben over van alles en nog wat. Misschien heb je een casus dat je denkt, hey, dit zit me niet lekker. Kunnen we het erover hebben? Ik wil jullie hiervoor uitnodigen om dat te komen doen.
She was saying that she's always open.
Now, the last person is the chairman of the whole night, the commissioner and the queen and the king and everything of the Bahama. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the king of the Bahama.
Wow, that's too much credit. Well, as last speaker of the night, I want to thank you for being here, to being open here, to let your voice shine, to talk to us, to have a conversation about difficult issues. And I know there are a lot of issues who are not discussed tonight, and maybe you have individual cases or individual experience with the police when you want to talk about. My colleague already reached out her hand. But for now, I only want to say at the end of the night is, be honest, we can help you. We will be honest to you. Stay open as a community. We will do the same. Be our mirror. What can we do better? Speak up, let us know. Because we're here for you and not for us. You are our customers, so you decide what we do.
Ladies and gentlemen, listen, give it to her. Let me, my dear sister, please come. I love your spirit. Come and shake me. Yes, you. Yes, come. You see, come. Honest, you say, you know you are my daughter for a long time, but I love what you did. Don't be shy, but shake me for, no, just thank you for what you did. You are honored. Go and sit down. Let me say the reason why I said it. Others will hear a statement and they will hold it in their hearts. But the way she said it wholeheartedly, I really cherish it. And we are live. That, this is cross-cultural communication. Certain cultures, you should know some ethics and norms and values. And certain statements should not come out among your mouth. So we really thank you. Forgive us. It is a wrong statement. But I hope that is why we are dialoguing, to do joy. And it is a one love thing. In this dialogue, I want to take this opportunity to thank the police. Yes, we can be partners. Can I hear yes, we can be partners? Yeah, man. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. The Netherlands police are the best police I've seen in the whole world. I mean it all. To be honest, now see how the Burma has been. But today we have here a statement. So those who are on live, from today on, let's all do our best to empower our young ones to diminish youth delinquency, because we don't want them to enter into the top 200, top 300 before we talk about it. And someone's child is your child. So let's stand for them. And I'm telling everybody, those who are online and everyone, I know those of you who are here, you are great guys. And those who are planning to do anything, please stop. If not, I'll call police for you. Because this country, we came to come and help them build it up. There's opportunities here. A lot of opportunities. So do your best and maximize the moment and move from one stage to another. And all the same, if you want the dialogue to continue, now before we will close, I've heard that the crime rate among Ghanaians, that is, am I right? The crime rate among Ghanaian youth are higher. No, I hear it from the police. So this is scientific records. It is not what someone is saying. If the chief says it, it is true. What can we do from now, after the dialogue, and make sure we will diminish it to zero? It's possible. We should all join hands with the police, join hands with the community leaders, the professionals, and see how best we will create opportunities for everyone, like the question the young man asked, so that we will reintegrate them And now I'm having a lot of them as a friend. I bring them as a stash. I am doing a lot so that before we did it and it worked. The top 3 top Ghanaian criminals, I took them as my son, and they all dropped from those activities. And the police help us well for us to identify them. So we will plead with them. If they have such cases, share it with, I know the privacy issue, but give us a tip so that we are. You know, sometimes I'll pick them, send them to a restaurant, we talk. Some of them, because they lack a fatherhood in their life or motherhood, they need someone to talk to, a role model to help them through their life of path. So please do your best. If there is nothing, and because we are close in 5 minutes, the choir is here. My co-pilots, I salute you. Ladies and gentlemen, shall we all stand and give them one love? Let's give them one love. Hey, give them one love. Give them one love. Hey, give them one love. One love. Hey, give me the song. Let's hear you. We are singing this song.
One love.
Hey, let's get together.
One heart.
Hug somebody.
Let's get together.
Let me hear you.
One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. So one love, one love, one heart. Let's get together and everybody say one love. Let me hear you say one heart. Give thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will feel Lord. Lift your voice and say one love, one heart. Let's get together and feel Lord. Oh, one love, one heart, one heart. Let's get to the Lord, and I will be Lord. Say one love. One love, one heart. Let's get together and say one love, one love, one heart. Give thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright. One love, one love. Sing one heart. Let's get together and everybody say one love, say one heart. Let's get together and I will feel alright. Oh, one love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. One more time, one love, one love, one. Give thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will be alright. One love, one love. Let me hear you crying. Give thanks and praise together and feel alright. Let me hear you sing. Let me children sing now. Give thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright. One love, one love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. Say one love, one love, one heart. Give thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will be alright. One love, one love. Let the children sing now. Let's get together and feel alright. Say one love, one heart. Give thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright. One